Fully vaccinated people of Reddit, are you still wearing masks? Why or why not? Yup, work in a hospital. My state of Florida has done away with masks except for at hospitals, daycares, public transportation, and a few other places. People argue with me about it all day. You're in a damn hospital. Put a mask on. Yeah, it took me so long to remember to put my mask on when going out, and now I feel naked without it. Even though I'm vaccinated, strangers have no idea if I am or not. Also, the Delta variant can still infect people even if they're vaccinated. It's less likely and less serious, maybe asymptomatic, so if I'm infected, I don't want to pass it on. Just because anti-vaxxers are foolish doesn't mean they deserve to die. I still am for medical reasons as well. Due to my autoimmune disease and immunosuppressants, I was told that I am most likely not fully protected by the vaccine. I'm so sorry you have to deal with a pandemic on top of cancer and a weakened immune system. That must be so difficult. Are you feeling stressed about all the people who are no longer masking? I hope your chemo is going well. I'm wishing you all the best. My mom has had thyroid cancer. Now, it's back, and since her initial treatment, we've been quarantining before it was cool, if quarantining is even cool. I've been on chemo and immunosuppressive therapy at different times, and still am. It really sucks. We all still wear our masks. I don't know why, but I think you're a cool person, and I just wanted to tell you that. Keep fighting. I know it's an everyday thing. Sometimes, you don't want to, but I do it for the chance to come across people like you. Hugs. I continue to mask because I am on immune-suppressing medication. I have no way of knowing the vaccine was effective enough due to my medication. Additionally, my doctor stated that I need to avoid COVID due to people with multiple sclerosis, which is what I take my immunosuppressing medication for, showing new lesions on their brain, spine after contracting COVID. I don't ask people around me to mask up, and when I'm outside I don't wear one. Edit, spelling. My grandparent is on an immunosuppressant, and they just got an antibody test stating that they don't have measurable antibodies against COVID. The family is still wearing masks everywhere. It sucks because my grandparent was just starting to go places again, but our state removed the mask mandate, and most people aren't wearing masks now, so they're back to being stuck at home all the time. Skeptical. Also on immunosuppressants, it matters the exact drug we take. I looked into this a few weeks ago. From what I could find seemed like TNF inhibitors, like Humira, are actually fine, and we should have enough antibodies, while other meds had a way more pronounced effect. I would just ask your doctor. Either way, agreed on continuing to mask in grouped indoor settings. Same here. There is also research coming out for folks like us that were on immune-suppressing meds when we got our vaccines. We didn't form as many antibodies to COVID and therefore aren't as well protected. I have adrenal insufficiency which I take cortisol replacing meds for. If I got COVID it wouldn't just be life-threatening because of well, it's COVID, but also because it could put me into an adrenal crisis. Just FYI, my coworker is also immune suppressed and he was able to get the test to check his immunity after his vaccine. He too was worried because he got the vaccine while taking his medication and soon after recovering from an asymptomatic COVID infection. I'm not sure if the test is covered under insurance, but it might help peace of mind. This is my policy. I'm in Florida, which has been looking for an excuse to not mask up. Now that the policy is no mask if vaccinated, suddenly everyone is vaccinated. There's maybe 2-3 people in any given place with masks on. If somewhere asks we wear a mask, I gladly put it on, but if it's optional, I'm torn. Wearing a mask is asking for snarky comments here from both the pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine sides. If you wear it, it's a sign that you're not vaccinated. I got the first dose the day after my demo could get it, and will get comments about how you should get the vaccine. Also, if you wear it, it's a sign that you don't need that anymore. Why are you wearing it? From the opposite side. I don't want to deal with either of those. So if most people have one on, I wear mine. If not, I don't. But if a place has masks required, I make sure it's on no matter what everyone else is doing. Edit for those late to the party who might question whether Florida actually has the situations I'm describing. https://www.local10.com/news/local/2021/05/06/conflicts over face mask use continue in South Florida/ and that article is based in a fairly liberal area. Same. I hate wearing it, but I will because a private business gets to decide the conditions upon which I can enter. Thankfully, most businesses around my area, Texas, have removed the mask requirement. Some still say they encourage masks for non-vaccinated people, but no one ever checks. I'm fully vaccinated, so I feel comfortable not wearing the mask. I miss it though. I had a really cool design on my mask that people always noticed and commented on it. I felt happy when they'd talk to me, but now I'm just another face in the crowd. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. The very second I was able to take the mask off, I did. I haven't worn mine in any store where it wasn't required in weeks. My state has a high vaccination percentage. We just hit 75% adults with first dose, and my county stopped requiring masks in like May. I never gave a single person a hard time about masking up, wore it everywhere I was supposed to, followed social distancing guidelines even when others wouldn't, waited my turn for a vaccine even when my friends were faking stuff on the online forums. Hand sanitizer never more than arm's length away. I did everything the right way. I think I've earned it. Me too. Not autistic but anxiety. Wearing a mask felt slightly hindering at first, like it distracted me from my other senses, but now I'm used to it. It feels like a safety blanket going into public buildings. I can talk to myself, mouth along to songs, make all the weird facial expressions I feel the need to make without worrying about censoring them because I'm in public. They're not required outside here, but I'll definitely keep wearing them in shops, public transport once the mandate lifts this month. I was doing this for a couple of weeks. My rule was if the employees were masked, I masked. As a former retail worker, most of the mask policies have struck me as customer-centric at best, employee hostile at worst. I am less concerned with infecting other unmasked customers in the store, as they generally have every ability to limit their own risk. My whole family is healthy and vaccinated, so bringing it home is not ideal but also not a dire concern. My prime motivation is, A, limiting risk for employees, and B, promoting a mask-positive environment to ensure people who actually need to be wearing them are more likely to do so. That being said, I am now back to full mask indoors. My area is likely to return to a mask mandate soon. I've noticed employees in most of my normal shops back to full mask policies too. I'm sure it comes as no surprise to anyone on this thread, but the unvaccinated by choice people obviously cannot be trusted. Edit. Thank you for all the awards. Regarding my statement about unvaccinated by choice people, I am specifically referring to those who are anti-maskers. This combination of behaviors helps COVID continue to spread and mutate into new, increasingly vaccine-resistant variants. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by some of the indignation in this thread against people who choose not to. I wore my mask for the past year. I mostly avoided seeing friends and family for fear of spreading the virus. I stayed socially distanced and quarantined as much as I could. I washed my hands frequently. I got tested when I was exposed to people who might have had it. I got vaccinated as soon as I was able to. I did everything I was supposed to do. The CDC says that we don't have to wear masks if we're vaccinated, so I don't. I know most people in the real world don't feel this way, but it is surprising to see how many people in this thread are talking about vaccinated people who don't wear masks as being selfish assholes. We did what we were supposed to do and now we're trying to return back to normal. I don't see why that's so bad. Yeah, a few reasons. I work at a hospital. It helps keep things healthy and sanitary. Also, just because I'm at a lower risk, COVID plus people have passed by me and their germs might still be on me somewhere. Maybe I can't be 100% safe, but the mask helps. Wearing one helps contribute to the public perception that people should keep wearing them, and until the CDC/WHO/related organizations come out and says we're in the clear, I'm gonna keep at it. Vaccinated is not immune. Just last week several people came in COVID plus that had been vaccinated a few months prior. They were less sick than they could have been, judging by appearances, but still, so you can still spread it. Yep, I like the anonymity. I haven't been sick in forever. All this variant stuff going around. Some of that sounds not good. My kid has asthma, so he doesn't really need any more lung scarring and I can still carry it apparently. There's 4 reasons. Hoping a vaccine that's safe for kids comes out soon. They're removing mask requirements for all the places my kid goes. It bothers me a bit. 0 kids can even be vaccinated. Jumping the gun on that one IMO. Kids still need distancing, hygiene protection because that's all they've got. Yes to all of this. I have 2 boys who are too young to be vaccinated. There are no longer mask mandates here, just a strong urging if not vaccinated. When we go anywhere indoors as a family we all mask up. Also, the population here is still the 50% vaccinated and more than 50% are maskless. That signals to me I can't trust people. Shocks me to see entire families in busy stores out maskless with school-age kids, old enough to wear one safely, not babies, and I know they aren't vaccinated either. Why risk it? Oh, you've just reminded me of the early days of the pandemic last year. All the men who came out of the woodworks on Twitter to complain about having to wash their hands or making a big deal of washing their hands properly for the first time in their lives, like WTF were they doing before the pandemic? I remember the Washer vs. Walker adverts of the 90s. Why the hell didn't they? Working retail means I touch a lot of things throughout the day that so many other people have touched and probably sneezed on. Wearing a mask stops me from touching my face and nose before I get the chance to wash my hands on break. I used to always get colds and a lot of zits, but now I think it's because I had such a habit of touching my face with dirty hands. Once my dad ate a pie at the football with a magazine held up covering his face. When I asked him why he was doing that, he told me he was watching the footy on TV and the camera zoomed in on an obese woman eating a pie. She dropped some on the front of her shirt and she then pulled the short up and licked the pie off. He didn't want to be that person. This is your version of that family anecdote. I was about to type this exact thing. My mill is elderly, feeble, and has had 3 strokes. My mom is also autoimmune. My daughter is 14 months and my nephews are 3 and almost 1. Delta variant is shown to still be contracted by vaccinated people but with a less intense reaction. Despite that, it's probably still very damaging to my mill, mom, and any of the kiddos. Even if it doesn't kill them, it could hinder the kids' developments or have long-lasting effects on those who already have it bad enough. Delta plus variations could be even worse, where it spreads faster or is less affected by the vaccine when it comes to minimizing their intensity. Personally, I had pneumonia 6 years ago and although I recovered, it ruined an entire summer for me and had long-lasting effects. I quit performing as a singer because for years afterwards I would be overcome by a coughing fit at times of increased cardio intensity due to volume or high pitch. That's better. But even now I can't run a mile again yet. I wouldn't wish that on any of my family. Using my alt account because I don't want my friends and family to find out. I am fully vaccinated. I was scared at first because of the possible side effects and the quickness of its manufacture and release, but after reading up on it, I felt much better about getting it. My partner and my best bud both refuse outright to wear a mask and even worse, to get the vaccination. My partner has even begun to call everyone sheeple. Unfortunately, due to the state of country, my partner and I are in the process of moving from a blue state, red county, to a red state, red county. I want to wear a mask whenever we go out, but in our new state, mask wearing is frowned upon. I already stopped wearing it around my buddy because I am the odd man out. They don't know I'm vaccinated, and mask wearing is no longer enforced here. I do wear it if I'm alone because it can't hurt, doesn't hurt, and why the hell not? But I'm afraid that once I arrive in my new state, I'll be pressured into not wearing it anymore. Fortunately, I'm vaccinated, but I fear for my partner who is not vaccinated, refuses to get vaccinated, and has health issues. I love my partner and we've been together a long time, but this very well may be the one thing to separate us, not because I leave, but because my partner has a greater chance of dying. 2. I have no way of knowing whether other people walking around unmasked are actually vaccinated or if they're an anti-masker/anti-vaxxer taking advantage of the opportunity to walk around unmasked. This is also literally on my mind every time I go out in public now. I just assume everyone who is unmasked is actually probably an anti-masker, anti-vaxxer, and they're just glad they don't even need to pretend to give a shit anymore. They have a handy light to go, "Oh yeah, sure, I'm vaxxed," while giving us an Agatha all along styled wink. I'm right there with you on this. I don't know if Jimbo is vaccinated, a carrier. He might be fine. I had pneumonia as a kid and asthma now. I don't need my lungs to be worse off. Furthermore, what if I'm the unlucky fuck where a strain mutates into the fuck variant? I don't want to be the COVID typhoid Mary. Fucking I just checked and Mary Mellon infected 53 people and 3 of them died. She was quarantined for 30 years, and everyone was fucking cool with it. And we can't even get people to not fuck about when sick for 14 days. Everyone in the USA has had a fair chance to be vaccinated. If you have chosen to not be vaccinated at this point, you have decided your path. This isn't entirely true. Kids under 12 can't be vaccinated, and there are people with medical conditions that have kept them from getting the vaccine. Like my friend's mom who is undergoing chemotherapy. There is still a risk to get a breakthrough infection and spread COVID. Especially considering new variants are brewing, specifically because there are people who haven't been or can't be vaccinated. Yes. For a few reasons. I have a 4-year-old who still needs to wear one. If she needs one, I will wear one to be her example. She also feels safer with the family masked up. We're working on getting that confidence back up since all she remembers is a COVID world right now. I am pregnant, and last time I was pregnant and got a cold it felt like the worst illness ever because we're literally not allowed to take anything. I don't necessarily trust people who say they're vaxxed in this area. Lots of crunchy upper class moms who have done the research. Social anxiety. People leave me alone or maintain distance better when I'm wearing a mask. So many fewer random conversations with strangers. Even with no mandates, about 75% of people are still wearing masks here anyway. We had it real tough in the NYC metro, and I'm not ready to take it off. Because this has been the first time I've gone an entire goddamn year plus without getting a cold, cough, flu, etc. I got the Rona early in the pandemic, first week of April 2020, so about a week and a half into lockdown. Knocked me on my ass for 2 weeks. I could still taste, so they thought it was the flu. The next month, I see in the news that symptoms could include nausea, vomiting, fatigue, headaches, coughs. Basically it was a checklist for everything I had. I've never been sicker. I have both doses of the vaccine now, and I'm still going to wear a mask outside wherever I'm allowed because vaccines aren't 100%. Variants like the Delta variant are still a concern. Even though I've been vaccinated, the vaccines mainly prevent hospitalizations in case of infection. I don't want to be infected, period. If I can deny the virus another petri dish in which to mutate, I'm going to. Masks are effective against spreading not just the coronavirus, but things like the flu, and the numerous viruses that cause the common cold, and many other communicable diseases. My girlfriend got me these sweet Mortal Kombat masks, so hell yes, I'm gonna take the opportunity to wear my sweet Scorpion, Sub-Zero masks. I don't trust the people in my city to not be shitty, selfish assholes. We still don't know exactly how long the vaccines are effective for. They may require boosters down the road, or it could become an annual issue, like with the flu. Vaccinated does not equal immune. I can still spread it even if I don't get sick. Immunocompromised people, the elderly, are a concern as well, etc. It's basically a common courtesy. The world doesn't revolve about me.